So welcome everybody to another episode of the Chakra Meditation Podcast. And today I'm really pleased and excited to welcome Terri Yuzon to join me. And Terri is the CEO and founder of a company called Hemplily. And so I'll let Terri tell us all about it. Welcome, Terri. Hi.
Thanks, Roseanne. Nice to be here.
Yay. I'm so pleased to have you because I'm really interested in your product, and I don't usually talk to people who have a specific product. I like to normally talk about things that are more general, but I feel like you are, an expert in the field, and I feel like this is a new thing that's sort of out there that we all need to know about. So tell everybody what you do, and then we'll go from there. What does Hemp do?
So I founded Hemplily in 2017 to share the health and the knowledge with everyone else that hemp has a lot of the medicinal benefits of marijuana, and you don't have to smoke it and you don't get high, and it can help with a lot of different things. It'll help with chronic illnesses and such, and symptoms of chronic illness. I myself have a story and why it brought me here. So I really want to help other people live their best lives and realize that there are alternatives to prescription medications. Mm-hmm. So it started I started my wellness journey 20 years ago. I'm 51 now. So in my early 30s, I was feeling really just not well. I was super tired all the time, lethargic, achy, especially after eating foods. I was really achy. Within 15 minutes after eating, I felt like I needed to lay down and take a nap. So I knew something wasn't right. I saw a lot of different doctors. Nobody knew what was going on. So they ended up diagnosing me with fibromyalgia. 20 years ago, not many people knew what that was. Most people have heard of that now. It seems like it's more common, and they're giving out that term more readily now. It really is just a word for you're inflamed, and we don't know why. Yeah. So we have to look within ourselves and pay attention to what we're eating, what toxins we're exposing ourselves to, exercise and sleep and things like that, to really get to the bottom of it and try to feel better that way, because they put me on prescriptions and I wasn't feeling better. And I refuse to believe that the body won't heal itself. So you have to give it the right situation, the right conditions, so it can repair. So that includes, solid sleep and eating right. I had to learn how to cook, because in my early 30s, I went to college. All we ate was noodles and pasta and carbs and that kind of stuff. And in my 30s, I had a good job, but I still didn't know anything about eating right. And I still just ate a lot of carbs and pasta. It's easy. So I had to teach myself how to cook and eat organic foods and detox and get things out of my life. And after a year of avoiding wheat, that was a biggie for me, avoiding wheat, not weed, but wheat. It's funny sometimes when people look at me. The wheat that we eat now, breads, pasta, fried foods, isn't the wheat of our ancestors. No. It's genetically modified now and sprayed with glyphosate, which is a neurotoxin, and we still have it on our wheat here in the US. Other countries have banned the use of glyphosate on their crops, and we still have it here. So after eliminating wheat and detoxing and eating real food for a year, I started to feel like myself again. And not many people want to do that. They're not ready. It's like they're not struggling enough. They're not in pain enough to really make that difference and stop eating the foods that are harming them. But
it's hard work. It's really hard work to do that, isn't it?
You have to be, in a place that's bad enough to really want to make that change. But with all my research, I found that cannabis was one of the few things that was offering fibromyalgia sufferers any pain relief. So I was very intrigued by that, even though I didn't feel like it was for me because it was illegal. I was in corporate. I could get drug tested. I thought you had to smoke it. I don't want to smoke anything. I'm like, well, for the people that want to do that for their relief, I really want them to have access to that. It's just not for me right now. Yeah. But in 2017, I found out that hemp was giving a lot of the same benefits without the high, and you don't have to smoke it. So I couldn't wait to leave corporate world. I'd been in it for a long time, and decided to start sharing the word and the good news with other people that you have this option to feel better.
So basically you're saying that hemp, it has the same CBD properties as marijuana?
Not quite. So marijuana is primarily THC, which is
Yes.
pain relief and relaxing and gets you high. So marijuana is primarily THC with other minor cannabinoids like CBD and
Okay.
CBG, things like that. But on the hemp side, it's primarily CBD, which won't get you high, with only minor amounts of THC and CBD.
I see.
That used to be the way we explained it, but because man keeps crossbreeding and trying to come up with something unique and different and bend the rules maybe a little bit and take advantage of laws and such, you can now get products from hemp that will get you high and have pure THC in it. So it's kind of a crazy world out there. So you have to stick with a brand that you know and trust, or that has been referred to you as effective, etc. But the hemp definition keeps changing.
Right. Okay, so yeah, finding a trusted brand is certainly the first thing. And I think if people are looking for the medicinal purpose, for the medicinal benefits of CBD, they don't necessarily, they want to find something that's pure, that's good, that's not, obviously some people will want to get high, but not everybody wants to get high. We want to just fix ourselves, and start to heal. So you have founded Hemplily, which obviously has these hemp-based products, and so I know that do you market them as being CBD products?
We don't come out and say, hey, we have CBD, because everybody has CBD. We try to focus on the solutions that our products can offer, and CBD is a key ingredient in them.
Okay.
And you can't also say if it's hemp, it won't get you high anymore. We used to say that years ago. So just plucking something off the shelf really isn't ideal for this product, because it is a little bit complex. It's not high risk, but it's a little bit complex. So you want somebody who knows what they're doing to help you pick the right product for you and what your tolerance is. Do you want to get high? Do you not want to get high? What relief do you need? How much, when, how often? All of that is different. It's a very unique product. It's an amazing plant, but it's a lot of education around it. So you need somebody in your corner to help you pick the right product.
Okay, so let's go sort of back to basics, and if you can, without sort of getting into too much science, and I don't know even if this is possible, but I'm interested. So what is it, the properties of the hemp / CBD, whichever way you like to look at it, that are so beneficial? What is its properties, what is it capable of, I suppose?
Well, they're called cannabinoids, but the plant also has terpenes and flavonoids, omegas. It's a highly medicinal plant. Let's separate that from hemp seed oil that you get at the grocery store. Seeds don't give you the medicinal properties, so that's not going to give you a medicinal effect, right? It's nutrition. You can throw it on your salads, things like that, but it's not medicinal. Okay. It's when you get an extract from the adult plant. The leaves, the buds, primarily the buds, have the most concentration of cannabinoids in it, and that's where you're getting your medicine. And CBD is the main cannabinoid in the hemp plant. Again, THC is the main one in THC, and those lines are even getting blurred. So the high level science of it is our bodies all have an endocannabinoid system, which is a master system regulator. It's like the umbrella over all of our other body system, our system regulators, like our immune system or our endocrine system. And endocrine is hormones, right? So we can get into that later, but it balances everything. So it seeks out what is out of balance in all of your systems to create homeostasis in your body. And when you have that, your body is supported to heal itself. Your body wants to heal itself. So this goes back to the root of, we have an endocannabinoid system, and the plant is dense in phytocannabinoids. So when we're toxic and short on endocannabinoids, we take the plant to replenish that, because our bodies actually make a little bit of cannabinoids. Okay. Is that too scientific, or?
No, not at all. That's just the right amount of scientific, because I can just about grasp it. So,
yeah. Even our pets have endocannabinoid systems. Most living things do. And we used to get cannabinoids before Prohibition 80 some years ago. It was in every doctor's bag, because they knew it helped so many things. We used to feed hemp to our cows, so we'd get it through food. And now our bodies are so deficient, because we haven't had it in so long, some people get kind of a whoosh feeling the first time they take it, because it's your body going, where have you been all my life? Let's get back to normal, right?
Wow. Okay. That's so fascinating, that because it is really important to understand a little bit of the science behind it. It's all very well sort of saying, take this, it'll help you. And I feel like, modern society, there's quite a lot of that, certainly in the medicine world and the sort of, Western medicine world. It's like, here's a pill. You don't need to know what it's doing, but it's going to do something for you. It's really important to understand what the process is, because if you just take it on blind faith, I feel like you might as well just take a placebo. If you just go, okay, this pill's going to fix me, you could just take a sugar pill and it probably do as much good, because the mind-body connection is so strong in terms of like belief. But if you know those facts, that it's going to actually interact with your body in a really positive, natural way, then that reinforces the work that it's doing, because you're like, yes, this is definitely, yeah.
Absolutely. But what's funny is people want to scrutinize the hemp plant because of the stigma it's had for so long, and they want to know the education, and they should, and it's great. But do we question everything that's on the shelf at the grocery store? No, there's an established trust there. Do we question a pill that our doctor gives us? No, we just trust, right? Yeah. So we got to get back to that with the cannabis plant, because in most cases it's safer than a lot of over-the-counter medicines.
Yeah.
You have to learn to not have that stigma with it.
Yeah, no, it does have a stigma. And it's really interesting, because obviously you're in the US, I'm in the UK, and it's very interesting to see from Europe side, watching America go through this, like, suddenly, prohibition is lifted, and the cannabis is legal and in so many places. And so, it's not a big deal. If you want to go and get high, you can legally go and get high, in the same way that if you want to go and get drunk, you can legally go and get drunk in the pub down the road. It's the same kind of thing now. But it's still illegal here. I'm not sure. I think you can sort of carry like a teeny tiny amount. They won't really bother, but still, it's still basically an illegal. However, there are now coming onto the shelves of supermarkets and whatever shops, lots of products that say they have CBD in them. So you can go into a health shop, you can go into pretty much any sort of big store, and they will have a CBD drink or pills, sort of like supplements, like they'll be alongside the supplements. And so I'd love to understand what all of those type of products that you can literally find in the supermarket, what they are doing, what they have in them, what effects they have.
So I know the basics of the rules in the UK. I know that for a topical, it has to have 0.3% THC or less. And I don't know that there's a limit on CBD. And that anyone can pretty much sell, as long as they can, sell it through retail, as long as it's 0.3 THC or less. I believe if it's a drink or something, it has to have anything that's ingested, including oils, gummies, drinks, it has to have your novel foods certification or licensing. But effects are different on everyone. I don't know if they put limits on how strong these products can be there. We don't have those limits here yet. I think you guys are a little bit ahead of us as far as regulations. We don't have much at all.
Okay.
So it hasn't worked really well for grocery stores here. Plucking it off the shelf again doesn't come with the knowledge of what you're really dealing with. But topicals, we have allowed topicals here, and that should be straightforward. It should give you relief just from pain and discomfort in 60 seconds or less, is what I say about our products. If it's not giving you that instant relief, I'd question the product.
Okay. Wow. So it's a really instant fix. So it's almost like faster than taking a paracetamol or something if you've got a headache.
Yes, it should be, because our endocannabinoid system works with receptors that go from our brain down to our cellular levels in our skin. So it is the fastest way when you apply it topically. Some people it's instant and they're just blown away by how fast it is. And I say, yep, it's anywhere from instant to 60 seconds, or it's not strong enough for you, or it's just not going to work for you. So we don't recommend it. We like people to try it in person first to prove if it's going to work for them or not. So if they say, no, it's not feeling better, I'll say, here's something stronger. If they say, oh yeah, that's amazing. You know, they buy it. Or if they say, no, I still don't feel anything, I say, then don't even try, because it's not a build up over time topically.
Right.
Mine is like first time you should feel it.
Amazing, amazing. And I mean, the sad thing is that, and I should have, I'm sorry, I've been so hectic, but I hadn't, should have done some research to see if there are any topical, you know, if there are any products in the US. I mean, don't worry, because I have a lot of listeners in the US. So, you know, you're reaching your target market in the US, so you. But in the UK, and I have a lot of UK listeners who I think will be going, hang on, I want to get in on some of this. You know, like if you've got a pain that's been there for a while, you know, that you think, I give anything a try because you've tried everything. I'm not even sure whether you can, there must be topical.
Yeah. I'm sure there are topicals. Try them there. I think they're going to be pretty similar to ours, so it should be pretty fast relief. Again, get a recommendation for a friend from a friend or family member who's tried it. That's a good way to eliminate fly by night brands or brands that aren't being honest. And as I say, find one that gives you a money back guarantee, somebody you can talk to. You
Yeah.
know, we offer not only lifetime consultations before, during, and after your purchase to make sure you get the most out of it, but a lifetime guarantee. If it doesn't work for you, we're going to give you your money back.
Wow.
We're going to give you a refund.
What's the sort of the ailment, if you like, that you find is most commonly, you know, that people come to you most commonly for, that is really useful, that it really works for? What
It
kind of
helps
thing?
a lot for a lot of things, but the biggest one is sleep. Your body can't repair if you're not getting good sleep. So our sleep gummies are amazing. They help you sleep solid throughout the night. Um, Oils and gummies for stress and anxiety, reducing anxiousness. That's a big one too. We all have a little bit of stress, crazy world we live in. So it helps keep your mood level and
Okay.
focus. And then topicals for localized pain relief. So on the topical side, what if you have widespread pain? You don't want to cover yourself in salve, right?
Yeah.
Roll on your whole body. So that's when you want to take it internally, either an oil or a gummy. And that can take some tweaking. It's not as direct, it's not as straightforward when you do it internally. That's why we're here to help you. But taking it internally gets to the root of the issue, the root of inflammation. It tells your body to stop overreacting to pain, things like that.
Yeah. And how about sort of for the symptoms of menopause?
Yes, so that's new, and more companies are finding out the same thing that I have. People have been coming into my store for the last 5 years and saying, I'm not getting hot flashes when I take your product. I'm not having my night sweats when I take your product. I'm like, that's really interesting. So it wasn't a widely known benefit. So I did some research, and well, that makes sense, right? Because our endocannabinoid system is balancing everything. It's also over our endocrine system, which is hormones. So it's going to balance hormones. So with further research, and there's, just very initial anecdotal and probably minimal scientific feedback on it and proof that, but it's really supporting cortisol. When we approach menopause, I'm there myself, I'm 51, I'm premenopausal. When you approach menopause, your estrogen wanes, it decreases. And cortisol tends to take over. So that's giving us our hot flashes, our night sweats, our anxiety, our mood swings. We can't sleep because we're waking up sweaty and cold and sweaty and cold. So balancing that cortisol is really key, and hemp can be the answer to that. For some people, it can be pretty immediate within 1, 2, 3 doses. Some people have to take it long term to start getting benefits. But if you're taking it for too long, even a month, and it's not helping you, you need to adjust your dose, and we help you with that. So we don't want somebody to just buy it and say, this doesn't work. Call us and talk to us so we can help you get the most benefit out of it.
Yeah, yeah. So, and it would be an ongoing thing. You keep on taking it, keep on using it.
Everyone's different. So we recommend that you take it daily for body support, but you can take it as needed as well. So I was like, okay, I should be experiencing some symptoms of menopause, and I'm not. Why is that? Well, I've been taking my product for 5 years. So I said, well, let me try giving it a break. And it was about 3 weeks of not taking my product that I woke up 5 times one night with hot flashes, night sweats. It was brutal.
Yeah.
And so I hopped right back into taking my restful sleep tincture. We have a sleep gummy. This is an oil base that kicks in a little bit faster. It's a oil you hold under your tongue. and has extra of the plant compounds for helping you sleep. That night I only woke up twice, took it again. The next night I didn't wake up at all. So I was back to my normal sleeping pattern when I hopped back on and started taking that. That was quick for me because I already had a base in there. And it can be quick for some other people too. So it can be an amazing product.
It's fascinating. So how did you sort of go about developing? So you said you were in corporate. Sorry, this is just my nosy bit coming out. How did you do it? So you were in corporate world before, and then you decided to start Hemplily. And are you a scientist? Did you get in the lab and like how did you do it?
How did I make that leap? Yeah, well, it was a lot of research, and when I found out hemp was beneficial, and oh my goodness, I can't wait to help other people with that. I had to do a lot of learning. I did a lot of research online and learning, and I found the right cannabis attorney to help me wade through the waters, because not many people knew it was legal, and law enforcement at the time didn't even know it was legal. So I had a cannabis attorney, and I also researched who was growing it and providing the hemp plant. So direct from the manufacturer, direct from the farm. I had to find the right farm that was willing to work with a small person like me.
Yeah.
Get started. So.
But hemp plants and marijuana plants are different things, am I right? Sort of related, sure, but
related. It's a gray area now. It used to be pretty distinct. Just 5 years ago when I started, they used to say that hemp was taller and lankier, and primarily CBD, and marijuana was shorter and bushier and primarily THC. But with all the crossbreeding and etc., and people getting creative with the law, it's just simply definition by what's in it.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. % or less THC, hemp. If it's over 0.3 THC, marijuana.
Okay.
And it's by dry weight. So here's the clever thing. We used to think it's by volume or by total cannabinoids 5 some years ago. So you couldn't get high from the hemp plant. But now they're saying, well, if it's 0.3% by dry weight, I can give you a full THC gummy. It takes a lot of hemp plants to get that much THC, but they do it, right? And what am I trying to say here? The math, if you think of the math, an average gummy is 5 grams. That's 5,000 milligrams. So a 10 milligram gummy that you get at a recreational marijuana dispensary, that's usually the limit per piece, is 10 milligrams THC. 10 divided into 5,000 milligrams is well below the 0.3% limit. So we're like, we can have full THC products and it's still within the law and it's still called hemp. So you see how this is very confusing to the customer, and we don't want them to end up getting something and thinking, oh, it's hemp, it's fine, popping a gummy, and they get stoned when they don't want to. It can be very uncomfortable if you get too much. It's not harmful, but it can be miserable to go through if you're not expecting it.
Yes, if you're not expecting it, that's not fun. That's not a fun ride. No, absolutely. If you know where you're going on that ride, then fair enough. But if you don't, no, that's horrible. That's scary.
So we think that that's harmed the PR aspect of the hemp plant because it's gotten a little complicated.
Yeah, and it's funny in my old brain, I always think of hemp. They used to make clothing and sort of, it used to be like, oh, it's a hippie hemp clothing.
Yes, hemp is amazing for clothing. I have some t-shirts made out of half cotton, half hemp, and they're great, but they're hard to find. I don't know what it is that's holding up progress in manufacturing industrial hemp for fiber and such, but it can be used to make houses, fire retardant homes, cars, feed our cattle, feed our feed our farm animals, all that stuff. There's so many amazing things to it. So it's really still at the tip of the iceberg. You can get a test nowadays to find out what your DNA needs as far as cannabinoids and get a custom formula made for you specifically for your symptoms. So our products, obviously are more broad, work from the top down. You can get lab testing. I'm not sure how much it is or where specifically, but to find out exactly. So the science is getting there, but we still are in the very beginning stages with everything that this plant can do.
It's so fascinating, and I have long believed that that Mother Nature provides everything for us to heal
Absolutely.
us.
Yes, man just can't patent it. They can't patent nature. They're not allowed to. So they modify it and they pull it apart and they break it down and they reformulate it and they make it synthetic. And our bodies aren't meant for that.
No.
So let's try to stick to nature as much as possible.
Exactly. I think there's a lovely sort of resurgence of interest in fungi or fungi, some people, in mushrooms at the moment, and the medicinal benefits of
Absolutely.
mushrooms at the moment, which I absolutely love. And I love Netflix for having put out that great program, Fantastic Fungi, which everybody should watch, because it puts your faith back in nature. Like, when people go around saying, you have everything you need within you to do whatever it is you want to do in your life, you have it all within you. The world, nature, contains everything that we need within it, and we just got to work out how to do it. But you're right, mankind tends to try to adjust things to suit themselves and to turn a profit.
Yes.
And
so why didn't we know about mushrooms? Why are we just finding out that mushrooms have a lot of the same benefits that cannabis does? It can be tremendously medicinal.
Well, it was the same thing, it's that
mushrooms, people think again you're going to get high, and that's not true. The functional mushrooms are so beneficial. I'm even just learning in the last couple of years. It's right on the heels of the cannabis revelation. What mushrooms are just as wonderful.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing, because because mushrooms, because the magic mushrooms had psilocybin, and they were the psilocybin was lumped in with all the other drug, chemicals, back in whenever it was, in the 50s or whenever, when, before that, people were using them, and certainly in ancient times, I mean, look at, the, Indigenous Americans would use nature and have these amazing, beautiful ceremonies. And, throughout time, we've always used medicine to, plant medicine to heal ourselves, to take ourselves into another, to connect with the universe. And that's one of the things that, not only THC does, I think, in moderation, and everybody's, it's something for everybody, but, that classic picture or idea of people sitting around getting stoned, to sort of talking nonsense, there is truth to that. But there is also that sort of moment where you actually have a bit of a revelation, when you can speak a truth that you didn't know you had inside you. And the same way with mushrooms, you get to that place where, you are the universe, you are connected with the universe. And those teaching lessons, and they're now going back into that research to find that actually doing a psilocybin trip, for want of a better word, can actually be immensely healing. It can cure depression in like one session. It's extraordinary. But it was all put back, it was all back in what you call the prohibition, which I guess, God, we're talking the 50s. Yeah, that is 80 odd years ago, when everything was
right.
So
I was saying, why didn't we know? Why didn't I know about the amazing benefits of mushrooms? It's because Big Pharma doesn't want us to know. They've had control of everything for so long, and we didn't realize it. But they knew about this too. Our government has a patent on cannabis, and they try to tell us that it has no medicinal benefits. Okay, so.
Well, you're here to tell us otherwise, for sure. That's very clear. Yeah. No, I think it's really interesting, and I want to ask you, like, just when people, so if people listen to this and they go, I'm really interested, but I'm not in the UK. Sorry, I'm not in the USA, so I can't necessarily, because you can't ship to different countries, I wouldn't have thought. Yeah. So what should mean, I'm being very self-interested. What should I look for when I go hunting for a topical cream for a pain, or something to help me, an ingestible to help me deal with menopause and so on? What should I be looking for?
Okay, well, there's a lot of different products and a lot of different ways to do it. I prefer, in our products, our full spectrum, which means it's the whole plant, including the trace amounts of THC within the legal limits allowed here in the US. Some people, for, I don't know, if they have religious reasons or drug test reasons, want that THC filtered out. So you'd want to look for a product that's broad spectrum. Maybe a CBD isolate product, which means it's isolated down to just the CBD component of the plant. But that is generally the least effective. For some people, it's fine and it's cheap, which is great if it works for you. But it's the least effective for many people. So isolate is the least. Broad spectrum is most of the plant, including your CBD, just no THC. And then our products are full spectrum and it has the whole plant in there because we believe it works better together when you leave everything intact. It's called the entourage effect. More people get benefits from it that way. Other than that, what to look for there? I don't know. There's a lot of products and a lot of companies and everybody's trying to have something new and different. That's why I go back to just talking with somebody who can recommend a product that's worked for them.
Yeah, but you say you have like different strengths. So I could come and say, I've got a painful foot or whatever. And you say, here, try this one. And I go, no, it still hurts. And you go, right, try this one. So what sort of levels of I don't know, how is the strength indicated, I suppose, in your products?
Well, there's no labeling standards. Generally, the strength is going to be total in a bottle, which is different for people. They're used to like a 200 milligram Advil. It'll say 200 milligrams on there, but in the cannabis world, at least here, we generally say total CBD or total cannabinoids in a bottle. And you have to adjust your dosage. Do you like a quarter? Let's say if you have a dropper bottle, I don't have one here right in front of me. It has the glass pipette, maybe a half a dropper works for you. Maybe a full dropper works. Maybe once a day. Maybe some people want to break it up, some in the morning, some in the afternoon, or they need a full serving morning and afternoon. So that's why it's not straightforward like a pill. We can't say, oh, you're this much weight, you're male or female, take this much. Everyone's need is different. So it takes them experimenting with it.
Yeah. So a bit of guidance, a bit of experimentation, and
so a lot of people have tried it and said, I tried it, it didn't work for me. Well, what did you try? How much did you try? How long were you taking it for? How often were you taking it? It's a lot more to it. And some people are lucky. They just take it. We'll give it some oil to them on a spoon and they pour it under their tongue and they can just feel better immediately. If it's close to the right dose for them and for an average adult with moderate symptoms, generally it's in the 15 to 20 milligram per serving range.
Okay, cool.
So everybody's different.
And in terms of so we've talked a lot about the physical things, like menopause, like pain, like but do we mental illnesses, I suppose, anxiety, depression, they are also very much part of the spectrum that it can treat, aren't they? So you could just take it just for depression or just for sleep or anxiety. So honestly, it's an extraordinary product, isn't it?
It's simple and extraordinary because it works at the highest level in our bodies.
Yeah.
So it just covers all of our operating systems. It's really a neat concept that it covers so much. People think it's snake oil because it does that. But yeah, and that's the fastest response. But aside from applying it topically for your pain, if you hold an oil under your tongue, smoking is actually faster. I don't recommend it because it's not the healthiest, but it is the fastest way to relief. But the oil, hold it under your tongue and you start feeling better within minutes. You just feel a calm and balance. It gets you through the day. Little things don't bother you anymore. It's definitely great for supporting your mood. People who are depressed, going through breakups, it helps your mind stop ruminating on things and just obsessing about things. It gives you just that calm and focus to make it through.
This is amazing. And I really hope that everybody in the US who's listening to this just runs to Hemplily. And obviously the link will be in the show notes. And for those of us in the UK, I'm going to do some research right now when we get off this call and find, because I'm thinking I'm in. I'm not.
So let me just say, it doesn't even have to be Hemplily. Sure, we'd love to help you and have you try our products. But even if you have a product in the UK, you can email me. I'll help you out with the product you have that isn't even Hemplily. Maybe you've tried it, set it aside because it didn't work. Get that product out and call me. I'll help you figure out what it is that you're holding, what it is you're taking, maybe adjust it and you can get benefit from the product you have. Sometimes switching brands and switching products is the answer, but sometimes it's just learning how to take the product you have.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's so fascinating, and I think it's so exciting as well to have this potential in our, that, and it's natural and it's organic, and obviously, you go looking for it, and there will be ones that are a little bit on the cheaper side, but it's not going to be, it's going to be pennies more to find the organic, like really beautifully done. And I feel like also with anything, like if you cook a meal with love, it's going to taste better. When it comes from somebody who knows, cares about the product and is invested in it, then it's sort of already got that ingrained goodness to it. So I'm really excited to go and search for myself, really. I think
I'm here to help.
Thank you, Terri. Yeah, it's been really interesting. So interesting. I feel like you're going to get some inquiries. I hope so. But thank you very much. Is there anything that I've missed out on that I haven't asked you about that we need to cover? I just sort of don't want to miss out on any golden nuggets that we haven't.
Don't buy off of the TV. They scam me all the time. They'll use celebrities' names to say that it's the celebrities gummy. They scam you. Don't do that. And if you need to reach me, I'm at hemplily.com.
Okay.
And on Facebook, I'm Hemplily, and on Instagram, we're Hemplily_helps. And if you do decide you'd like to try our products, we only ship within the US. You can use code SMART25 for 25% off your entire order. And that way I know you came from Roseanne's podcast.
Wonderful. Well, I hope that works for you, Terri. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us and educating us so beautifully today.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Roseanne.
Thank you.